Welcome to the French Drainman channel. We're going to go over grade elevations today. Going to tell you how and where you can go to get those. This is a plot plan. You ask for it at your building department. You can also go to your water and sewer department and they'll have separate maps regarding the drainage in your neighborhood. I'm going to show you how easy it is to read a plot plan, so that you, the homeowner, or if you're a contractor and you're still trying to find your way with this kind of stuff, we're going to keep it simple. There's no reason to have to go over the proper terminologies and make this a technical video. We're going to make this a real easy video, and I want everybody to not get intimidated with these plot plans. They're very, very easy to read once you get a handle on them. So we're going to get you there quickly in this video. So let's get you familiar with what we have here. This is the property line right here. That's the property line. This is the layout of the house. So this is a bird's eye view, basically. You got a topo or a topical. So we're looking down on the house. Now right here, notice we have a 2-car garage. Then over here, we have a 1-car garage. So we got the house, these attached garages. It's a side entrance garage. You can tell by the driveway. And this is the concrete driveway. So pretty easy once you get your bearings. Pretty easy. You got the lot next door to the left and the right. So there's some information given. And then you find your way to the street. Let's get to an elevation number. We'll start to go over what they mean. We have an elevation of 977.8. Why is the number so big? What's going on here? So that is an elevation that's 977.8 feet. That's really important to know what these what unit is this in? It's in feet. It's 977.8 feet above sea level. That's why the number is such a large number. So it throws off, when people first look at a plot plan, they have no idea what these numbers mean. So that's why I just want to shoot this video to help everybody out. So this is a newer plot that I'm showing you. I'm going to show you an older plot too. This is a newer plot. You can see these arrows. That's for water drainage, believe it or not. That's what's nice about grabbing the plot plan. Really, really helps. Some of them have more information than others. Over the years, they definitely have improved. So if you have an older home, you might have less detail to your plot plan. And if you wanted to hire a survey company to build a plot, so this way there's no issues with the neighbors and all your DIY projects, you can just go to your filing cabinet, pull out your plot plan, and hand it to the fence contractor or the pool contractor, or in my case, the drainage contractor. So if you didn't have one, say you went to your building department and you live in a home that's 40, 50 years old, and they don't have it. They didn't do this back then. There's a benchmark in every neighborhood. So if a survey company just went to this catch basin that's 2 doors down, it gives a description of where it's at, and then shoots the catch basin, the elevation is 972.76 feet above sea level. So that's what that means. Now he can go a few lots down, few doors down. He and or she, whoever is surveying the property, and they could take all the elevations that they need, and they can put together this plot plan. So I do have clients that have this professionally done. Once they learn about it, if it's not available, they want one. So they're great to have. If you're buying a new house, make sure they give it to you, like literally demand it. It's extremely important. So, and sometimes there's a charge for it. It's worth it. You want it. All right, so let's go over the topals, the elevations. All right, so here we are. Going over the topo map, taking a look at all the elevations. We are at 970. So we dropped 7.4 feet from the top of the driveway to right at that point. That X is so that they can put a stake there for the grading, the excavation crew, the bulldozer. They're going to be finished grading this, and there's going to be a stake right here so that he knows where he's at on the property. He can identify with the location. It's also going to have 970.40 feet. That's what this is. It's in feet. So he's going to be able to get the grade accurate. Now, when you go to the other side over here, you notice that we fall to 970. It's like, wow, how did we get to 970 when up here we're 977? Here we're 975 behind that single car garage that's attached. Well, it doesn't have to tell us it's a walkout. We're going to know it's a walkout. You're not going to drop that kind of elevation from one side of the house to the other unless you have a walkout. So once you get familiar with reading these, if you're a contractor, if you're a young contractor and you're trying to get a handle on all this stuff, eventually that would be like a tell. If somebody emails me, they scan and email me their plot, I see that. Again, the newer ones have more information, they're more detailed, but the older ones, they don't have any information like that. So you would know that there's a walkout there. This is going to be the problem area always on a lot like this. It's the lowest point. When you cut the grade away for a walkout, you took away that really, really nice slope that you had. That's fine. I mean, I understand. It's really a nice added feature to the home. Now all this water is going to this detention area. And this is quite interesting. So this is a development that butts up to a older sub. And the older sub does have storm drain. A little bit of this water, as you can see, there's a little bit where they show the arrows going off into that storm drain, but most of it is heading towards that detention area. They don't want to overwhelm the storm system. So that was required for this development to get the go-ahead from the site plan reviewer. These were things that they had to engineer and figure out and get that right. So there's a lot that goes into it. When people say the builder screwed up or the developer screwed up, I'm like, no, that's usually not the case. I mean, failure lies, I see failure and I can identify with the failure, and it is rare that it's the builder or the developer. If somebody missed something when you submit this to the city building department and the plan reviewer goes over it, can he miss something? Absolutely. He's human. They're pretty thorough, I can tell you that. So in any case, usually if there's a water problem, like in this case, you can see we're at 970. Well, the back is at 968. Here, I'll show you this corner over here too, 968, and there's the stake. So you only have a couple of feet that you're working with over a large area when you cut the grade down for a walkout like this. So we would do it. You've seen our videos. If you haven't, go ahead and subscribe. We'll do a French drain field. We'll run 3 parallel pipes with some balance tubes and then a discharge line to that detention area. So that's how I would take care of this problem here. Again, you see all the drainage arrows. They're draining the side lot water and all the back water towards the rear. And then once you get to the front of this house, everything breaks to the street. Right here is, you can see the arrow. You got arrow going to the back, an arrow going to the front. All right, so let's take a look at this other map that I have for you. This is an older plot plan. It's quite a bit older. It's probably, I would say, around 20 years old. This one probably dates, you get used to the change in times and the era, but let's get you familiar with this one. This one's pretty cool. We're going to have some fun with this one. This is the kind of stuff I specialize in. All right, so this house, check it out. So the house is the diagonal lines. We got a 3-car garage. This is just a green belt. This is just a side lot from house to property line. And then we have cement, another side entrance garage. So what makes this one so unique, makes it a lot of fun. All right, so let's look at this topo. All right, so we got some elevations. This corner over here is 789. 789. Okay, so what's going on in the backyard? What are these contours? These contours, when you see these, it's either going down or up at a very steep slope. And these contours, 790, that's the elevation, and it's through this contour. You follow that line, that whole thing is 790. So there's also, when you look at these contours, they're going up by 1 foot. If you were looking at a map of a larger area, it would be 10 feet. You always got to make sure, okay, we know this is in feet. And you always want to look at that. What do we got? Every 1 foot, there's a contoured line. So we start out at we're at 789 at the bottom of the bank here. Now, we know that this isn't a ravine. We know that this isn't a drainage ditch in the back here, because if that was the case, these numbers would get smaller. 790, 789, and so on. And they would be decreasing instead of increasing. They're increasing, so we know it's going up. We know we got a berm, whether this is a common area, whether there's a roadway. They're trying to, create some privacy back there. Sometimes they build subdivisions right off highways. So you see this. At the top of the ditch bank, you're looking at 804.5. So 15 feet. 15 feet high this back bank is. So you can't drain your water out the back. Matter of fact, you're taking on so much water that this bank, all the water that's coming off the top of this bank, coming down the slope of this bank, comes right towards the house. So I know that a lot of people look at this and say, this is trouble. I don't want this house. No, this is not a problem. This is not a problem as long as you take care of managing your water. This could set you up for trouble without a doubt. So we'll go over all that really quick. So right here, you notice how these arrows break. All right, so all the water from this point goes towards the street. So we have water coming down, water running this way, and all of this is being asked to drain between the driveway and the property line. Okay, so this needs some help. A good French drain will help expedite the drying process of this yard after a good rain. If you have no French drains on a lot like this, it's going to set saturated. You're asking so much for all this water to funnel into a tight V formation. I mean, you're trying to encourage all that water. And sure, this driveway is sloped, and it's sloped that way, and then it's sloped this way. So the water is going to run off the concrete. You're going to collect some additional water from this driveway. Now, a concrete or asphalt surface is non-permeable, so you're not going to lose any of that water. You need it to get to a green belt, and that's where a problem comes. We don't have a very big green belt. Matter of fact, depending on how high the neighbor's house is built and how close it is to the property line, you could be, taking on some of their water too. So let's continue. So now you see how this goes completely all the way across. I mean, this is a really long distance for this water to travel. So you look at this corner and we see 789 feet. That's vertical too. These are vertical measurements, vertical. So it's vertical. Over here, 786. Well, they had to cut that grade down because we know the house is built level. So if this corner is at 789, you subtract that. So we're looking at 2.5 feet. So they're cutting the grade down. They're trying to get this thing to drain. And actually it kind of set this house up for some daylight windows in the basement right there on that side of the house too. A lot of times you'll see this. Anytime there's daylight windows for a basement, they cut the grade down. Usually when you take that much slope away, now the lot is a candidate for a French drain system of some kind. So in this case, we have all this water coming down. We're asking all this water to go around the house. Yeah, you can get it to drain like this, but it's tough. Here's where the problems are. The back of this house is kind of, well, you can't really use it. You can't really use it unless you build a French drain system so that you can extend your outdoor living space, whether it's concrete, whether it's brick pavers. I would put in 3 pipes back here, and I would build whatever the homeowner wanted. If it was a brick paver patio, if it was a concrete patio, I wouldn't have an issue with it. But usually what happens is the landscapers come and they pile up a bunch of dirt in here and they put in a bunch of landscape. And they raise the elevation with the dirt beds because they come and they don't know. I mean, it could be July, August. There's no rain. There's no tell. So, sadly, nobody really pays attention to this stuff. Few. I mean, and that's why I'm taking the time to shoot this so that guys hopefully go to the building departments, start getting these plot plans and getting a handle on the piece of property and what was the original intent. So once the landscaper puts trees in here, or say it's a DIY project for the homeowner and they put trees in there and then they build it up with dirt, well, the water it stops right at the landscape. And then this all collects water. Now we got standing water. So to my point from what I was saying earlier, usually when I get to a piece of property and I see that there's standing water, it's not the builder, it's not the developer, it's not the building department's site plan reviewer. It's something somebody did. Somebody screwed that grade up. They didn't understand how the property drained, whether they built right here in the swale, which is always the case. They build out in that swale and dam up all that water. So you can build anything you want as long as you put a drainage system in. So that's what's fantastic. So yes, if you find the home of your dreams and the location that you wanted, this is not an issue. This is easily taken care of. We can build a drainage system for you. Now, if you have an older home, say you want to have a survey crew come out and do a plot like this for you, you can do that. And everything has a benchmark. Like this one, the benchmark is the top of the curb, and it gives them the elevation. So that's dynamite. Then they can go ahead and put a plot together for you. It's well worth having a plot. I encourage it. But yes, don't be intimidated by these at all. Those numbers can be intimidating. They're just vertical feet. That's all they are, vertical feet. That's what these numbers are from sea level. And literally just subtract them from one another on your plot so you can see the difference in grade, whether it's elevation or whether it's dropping in its fall. So if you found this helpful, please hit the like button And if this is the first time to our channel, please subscribe. If you have a yard water problem and you're trying to find some ideas, you're a DIY guy, or if you want this service and you don't even want to keep your hands clean, call us. We service North Oakland County and North Macomb County. This is a French Drain Man signing off.